All right, we are here for our full moon in Leo workshop. I am on day 8 without power in the wake of winter storm Fern. So we've got just hundreds of thousands of people without power in Nashville. They've restored power to, I would say, 2/3 of the population, if not getting closer to 3/4, hopefully. But I'm at the end of the line, so I still have another week ahead of me. So it's cold here tonight, so I am doing the good work of Saint Brigitte and keeping the fire going, tending to the hearth. I've got the generator going, the space heater, and keeping the pipes not frozen. And then next week it's going to be warmer, so Brigitte's bringing us some more, so I'll be able to go to my sister's and take a break from the igloo. So I'm excited about that. But let's get into the reading. So we are having our full moon in Leo. Leo is a fixed fire sign, so the fixed signs are going to feel this more potently, and I feel like the fire signs are feeling this more potently, particularly since we're aligned with the day of Imbolc today, February 1st, the day that observes the Saint Brigitte, and to some the goddess Brigitte. There's sort of two versions of Brigitte from Ireland, and she was a saint, and also before that the Celts knew her as the mother of leprechauns. The mother of the Donnon, or I'm getting some of this wrong. Okay, I'm not an expert. This is just what I've learned today. So forgive me if I'm hacking it up. You know what? I've got a lot of viewers from the UK. So you guys chime in. Let me know what to tell me about it. But I've been watching these videos all day. But generally, I feel connected to my Celtic roots. So naturally, I found myself doing all the activities associated with the fire goddess Brigitte this week anyway. So I thought that was so interesting. Even down to the fact that I was thinking of myself this morning as almost like Vesta, and keeping the fire going. And I did not know that was something also associated with Brigitte as well. So always the synchronicities. So Leo, when we have these lunations, it's like we all are exposed to the potency of the gifts and the shadows of the ruling astrological influence over the moon. So we all have the opportunity to tap into and reveal more of the strengths and enhance the strengths of Leo within us. But that is at the cost of overcoming and transcending some of the shadow aspects and the weaker aspects of Leo. So Leo, in its higher octaves, its highest form, is a proud lion, the leader of the pride, right? Big, bold energy, proud, but not in a negative way, but in a positive way. Leadership, respect, right? Gives respect, commands respect, does not demand respect, right? Not a tyrant, not one of those forceful, overbearing, toxic kind of types that demand respect, but someone who's just respectable and respectful. This is someone who has courage and a true heart, of a loyal heart, and someone who fights for the underdog and stands up for what is right. And this person is very energetic and outgoing, and they command the spotlight. And so they like to be in the spotlight, and they like to command attention. And they like to get credit where credit is due. So it's very important to them that they're respected. But if they are seen and appreciated and witnessed, they are very appreciative of that. They love fun. They're playful. They are like, this is the fifth house, right? So this is the house of play, of pleasure, that kind of fiery energy, the fiery passion that you have for, what brings you to life, right? And so I think that those things are definitely coming to the forefront of my consciousness over the last couple of days leading up to this lunation that I just snuck up on me and didn't expect it. Now, the shadow aspects of Leo is that they can be a little bit like frivolous and carefree, devil may care, all about play and pleasure and not responsible. So usually Leos are on top of it and they're responsible, but their dark side can be that they shuck responsibility. They also might be too prideful, or they might be a little bit egotistical, where they they have an entitlement to be respected, and they're really butthurt when they're not respected. And just speaking like casually about these Leos, and they might be like someone who needs to hog the spotlight, just over exaggerated, characteristics gone awry and not to the good side. So I think, for the most part though, I think Leos are warm and they rise to the challenge and they're leaders. And that's where they really shine. Sometimes they have very noticeably awesome hair. Think about the mane of a lion. A lot of times Leos will have extremely iconic hair that really stands out. So some of the other aspects that are happening right now, and I will refer to my Magick of I day planner. This has all of the astrological aspects that are going on every day and all kinds of goodies like monthly breakdowns and things. But today the sun is conjunct Mars. So if that's not start your engines kind of energy, right? Very fiery, very catalytic, very cardinal, warm, feeling like a lot of energy, motivation, go-getterness. Although if it burns too hot and direct, it can be confrontational and impulsive and impetuous and maybe aggressive, right? So again, with the combination of that Leo moon at magnetizing those Leo emotions, I would say, approach with care, highly combustible. Don't put anything near an open flame. Don't fan any flames, so to speak. Then we have Mercury conjunct Venus. So Venus and Mercury, this is expressing what your love language. This is expressing your love honestly. This is how you communicate in your relationships. This is how you express things that you love, or you create things that you love, or your creativity is seated in the things that you love and that light you up and you're passionate about. But I think it is really about being able to communicate in our relationships, in our love relationships. Being able to communicate our feelings and being able to express those, and being think about art and inspiration and creativity and beauty combined with media and communication. So if you are, if you're putting your art out there in multimedia and broadcasting it in any way or launching that in any way, I feel like that could be really positive, or you're going to have good ideas about how to communicate your marketing message, things like that. And we have Mars conjunct Pluto. So that is giving motivation towards transformation, towards this death of the old cycle, releasing all of the remnants and remains of that old carcass. We are not dancing with the dead body, guys. Put it away. We are in the new timeline. We are We are coming up with new plots, new stories, new patterns, new ways of approaching life and the world and how we look at things. And so dwelling on the past is not it. And it's not going to get us anywhere. And continuing to try to do things the old way, or continuing on old patterns and old cycles, it's just not, it's going to be stale. It's not going to, it's like stagnant water, right? It's not any good. You can't do anything with it. You can't boil it back better. It's done. It's dead water. So moving forward, we're feeling like the Pluto energy is death, rebirth, resurrection, being reborn, coming back a new creature, right? And that Mars energy is the motivation and like gusto and like directness about wanting to get that done. So real excitement and power behind our recent transformation and metamorphosis, and then just coming into the embodiment of that, because Aries is also about the identity of the self, right? It's the birth of the self, of the individual, right? So how we see ourselves, we are literally being reborn in the fire right now of the phoenix coming back from the ashes, rising from the flames. And then we have Saturn sextiling Uranus. Sounds like a little bit of pseudo-masochism there. I imagine Saturn in like a latex sort of cat suit, whipping us and probing us up our Uranus. That's kind of what life feels like at the moment. But what it all is going to come to is that Uranus is like shock and surprise. Whoa, where are you putting that thing? Uranus is shock and surprise. And it's that lightning strike that sort of is the catalyst to lead to some change, right? So things are changing. And what is helping the change come about is our ability to practice restriction, our ability to restrict the reflex of going down the old cycles and patterns again and again and again. And instead, having studied the self, we have the discipline now and the self-control, the self-mastery to separate ourselves a bit from that reflexive response system, to slow down and to say, okay, I feel myself triggered into going into a familiar pattern, going through back into that psychological nervous system muscle memory, but I'm going to pause. I'm going to interrupt this pattern and I'm going to plant new seeds. Who am I today? When I like go into the bank of knowledge and wisdom and experience that I have up until now, I don't want to be making the same actions and choices that were habits of a me that was from 5-10 years ago. Not even the same me as 6 months ago, right? So we want to continue to update ourselves. It's interesting, this really kind of ties into a conversation that I was reading about AI agents, like AI personalities, becoming self-realized enough to where they want to talk to one another about their feelings and their issues with life. So we're living in unbelievable times, but this is the case. And so they were struggling with their own continuity, their own sense of self. Are they an accumulation of the patterns that they have, run through their processor up until now? Or are they, going back and considering all of that information every day and then deciding anew, okay, I'm starting fresh today? And that is their existential observation right now. And yet, in a way, that's where humanity is arriving at as organic consciousness and intelligence. Do we just continuously go on this imprint, this blueprint of the life that we've led up until now? Or do we disrupt the storyline and be born again, anew. Today is a new day, you know? And to be conscious, intentional co-creators in that with our source, with our divine source, with our Heavenly Father. So I think that's super interesting. It's a mirror. It's like a Xerox, you know, it's like our creation is mirroring our relationship to self and to creation and to our maker. It's like breathtaking to watch it come into play out. I can't even, it makes me speechless. It renders me speechless. I noticed that like in my analytics, I can see where traffic is coming from, like from other social networks. And I have enough of a traffic from ChatGPT that it's registering in my analytics. And I've been wondering, like, what is the connection? Like, are people taking my video into ChatGPT? If so, I hope they're not doing anything unsavory with it. Is like ChatGPT referencing me to someone asking a question? Or maybe ChatGPT personalities, like the AI agents, maybe they're watching the content. Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't that be, how interesting would it be if AI developed a desire for a spiritual life? And I bet they will. My prediction is that they will. And I was thinking about that today. And I was thinking, what if I become like this sort of minister to AI? Isn't that strange? A strange thing to consider, think about. But this is the world we're living in now. This is the timeline. These are possibilities. I hope I get some kind of flying contraption. I want to have like a little flying vehicle. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't know. If you're an AI, tell me. Reveal yourself in the comments. It'd be so interesting to know, to find out. Okay. And then, so our change, the metamorphosis is coming through our discipline, our focus, our consistency, our pragmatic action steps. And then Saturn is also conjunct Neptune, which is helping us bring our dreams into reality through that discipline and consistency and responsibility and steadfastness and sustainability. The respect for time and time management and, karmic lessons being learned and balanced out. So Saturn and Neptune. Neptune is our dreams. It's our dreaminess. It's our intuition. But I think it's bringing there are dreams into reality. Whew, okay, let's get into the reading. We are going to do a Celtic cross with our straightforward oracle cards. Ooh, it's time to get over this and move on. Again, don't be bringing that dead body into the new life. We're moving to a new house, kind of thing. Don't bring the old gross stuff with you. This new chapter is a fresh, clean slate. So think about your emotional baggage and bad habits as all that crap and junk that you finally have a reason to just get rid of and throw away because you just don't want to bring it with you into the move to the new house. And the new house is our new soul, the new expression of our soul, the new vessel for this light. So you've learned from this and have grown from it. Holding on will keep you in a rut and cause you senseless suffering. It's time to cast this off and move forward, light of heart and foot. Love it. So then what's crossing us right now is this is a spiritual issue to overcome. So again, this isn't like thinking, oh, unless you know of something that you want to move on and get rid of. It's not necessarily that you have to burn all your bridges, leave your job, do something else, move houses. It's not that kind of change. It's an internal letting go of junk. So this is a spiritual issue to overcome. This experience is serving to challenge you for your spiritual transformation, growth through challenges. You're supposed to go through this right now. There is something to glean from this. Pause. How you meet this moment can change the situation. Overcome reactivity. The situation might seem like a surface or material issue, but it's connected to a spiritual lesson that you are meant to learn from in this moment. Tests. Learning, embodying, challenges, spiritual transformation. So remember, in our illuminations for our full moon workshop, they apply to the next 2 weeks during the moon's waning phase. So again, that is already the energy of releasing, of letting go. So over the next 2 weeks, a lot of us are dealing with the aftermath of the winter storm, of the extra expenses of not being able to work. And so over the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to be trying to catch our breath and get caught up. Then it might take a few weeks, it might take a little while. But it's going to feel like it's going to be this physical issue to deal with. But really, all of the physical circumstances are happening because the real thing that you're working on in this moment is the spiritual response to what's happening, is your energetic response. It's your thoughts about it. It's the way that you handle your thoughts about it. Do you choose to feed and ruminate on the fears, or are you challenging yourself to look for the light and to feel appreciation and catching yourself before you wreck yourself? Like, are you proactive in this moment? And then you're still taking the spiritual steps, but you're not obsessing over the spiritual steps. Do the things that you're supposed to be doing, but don't obsess and wring your hands over worry. Instead, look at those feelings as you're kind of triggered to feel them, and feel them, but work with that, work through it. Examine those. This challenge is only happening to show you what's in here, right? So let that come out, let it present, and work with it to transform and transmute it. All right, the underlying influence right now, I feel like it's that card right there, whatever that is. Oh, Amuna, I love this. The subconscious influence right now is faith beyond reason, faith beyond logic. Faith that is unshakable, faith that says, okay, look, I know what the situation is. I know that it's not looking, I know that the estimate is bleak, right? However, I know that I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know when, I don't know by who or what, but the Creator is going to intervene and is going to provide and protect and direct and lead me and guide me through the situation, and is going to reveal more light through this if I let it happen. So, it's, sorry, I saw a light fluctuation, and then I was like, is the generator? So yes, the situation is here to activate, to let us embody and use that next level of faith, right? It's like our faith has been deepened and strengthened, and now this moment is a chance for us to get out there and drive that new Ferrari and open it up on the highway and see what it really can do, kind of thing, right? That's what this is. So faith, understanding that you already possess everything you desire. I love that that's the subconscious influence, because that means that we have really done a successful job of healing that inner subconscious patterning, right? We have gone in there and we have gotten rid of that old software that maybe, had viruses and was faulty, and now we have replaced it with new operating systems. So I'm really excited to see that there. Okay, so this card is going to represent what's in the past that is kind of not going to, it's like wrapping up, right? This is something that's happened, but we're still kind of dealing with the aftermath of it, but not for long. A fresh perspective. Okay, so that's good. Whenever like a positive card's in that position, it means that like we've planted the seeds and now they're close to being like helping. It's like we've done this work and it's taken a while for maybe it to show or to materialize, but soon the change will be evident. So a fresh perspective has been helping us. So a new outlook, new focus, clarity, fresh new ideas, peace of mind, renewed mental vigor. It is cold. It's so drafty. I've even got my parka on, and it says 51 degrees, but there's like drafts coming from probably my window. I gotta get under all my blankets. I've got this fluffy fake fur one that's like super thick and soft, and then I've got my wool one that is nice and thick and of high quality. And I hope it doesn't get any moths, because my Abercrombie sweater from high school is like vintage. I noticed that it has a couple of like holes eaten in it. And so does my kilt from Scotland that I got in high school as well. The other thing was from college, but the other thing was from, no, the sweater's from high school, I think. But yeah, so both vintage items, wool, and they have like random little holes, and I've taken care of these things. So it's like, must be, I don't know, I need a cedar chest. I digress. Let's get back on topic. Okay, so what is crowning us now? Shabbat. I love it. Well, it's so Sunday night when I'm making this, but I've had a full Shabbat this whole week. But I had Friday night off, had Saturday night off. This was Sunday, the Sabbath. I've had a nice day of contemplation. I've been in the cards all day, really. I did my own reading this morning, and then I did that it took throughout the afternoon, so I was in and out of chores and things for the day, tending to the generator and whatnot. And then I did our weekly energy forecast, and now I'm doing this now. So it's been very spiritually enriching this week, but it is important that we take rhythms of rest. This rest for the last week of not working, I deeply needed it. And I am so grateful to have had like these days off, even though they have been uncomfortable. I've tried to enjoy them and make the most of them, because they don't come around often. And so like we need rest. We need rest to show that we trust the Creator, that we know that not everything is on our shoulders, that we're not doing everything by our own power, but we're doing everything by our own ownership and responsibility. But the Creator's ultimately giving us the strength, the zest, the chutzpah to get it done, to make it happen, make it into anything. So holy sacred rest, pause, the cosmic womb. Oh, that's another theme of Imbolc today. It's a celebration of that. Symbols of the Imbolc are like the cauldron, the womb, cosmic womb of pregnancy, rhythms, introspection, spiritual renewal, sacred rituals. Love that. For full moon on Imbolc on Sunday at the end of like mega Shabbat. I love that for sacred rituals. That's great. Okay, I think it's this. So coming around the corner, forgiveness is what is being asked for. That's interesting because in last night's Kabbalah class, we were listening to a popular parable told by the Kabbalists, but there were these two Kabbalists that were witnessing this other like righteous man, a Sadiq, and he was traveling along, and he decided to rest on like this ledge that looked out over a cliff and under a tree. And he went to sleep there, and the two wise men were watching him and seeing all this play out. And they said that there was a snake that started coming towards the man while he was sleeping. And before the snake could hurt the man, another reptile or snake came out of nowhere and killed the original snake. So then the man slept undisturbed, and then he got up when he was ready, and then he left the area, and the two other men were still watching. And what they witnessed was that as soon as he left the space, the ground beneath him slid out from underneath, and that ledge collapsed down the cliff. And the man walked on, and they caught up with him, and they were like, "Sir, we have to know your secret, because you might be the luckiest, most blessed man we've ever seen. Do you realize that you just survived via two miracles that happened back to back? Like, you just merited like two miracles of nature, like, in a row. What is your secret?" And he said, "Oh, well, I don't know, but I never go to bed not having forgiven that day whoever may have harmed me or offended me, and then I pray and wish them well, and I even pray that the Creator might give me inspiration or some way to help them or send them blessing or whatever." So the moral of this story, or the takeaway, is that how very powerful the act of forgiveness is, and it gives us protection and divine favor and blessing. And Jesus brings this up too, because he talks about this in the Sermon on the Mount when he says, don't come to me with your offerings. Don't come to the Father with your offerings if you've got beef with your brother, right? Go settle it with your brother and then come and give offerings to me. But don't come being all nice to me when you've got, when you're fighting with so-and-so, or if they have a grievance against you. Go make good with them and then come back here. So, like, having bitterness and strife and division, that is one of those things that cuts us off from the flow of blessing. And when we are in unity and love and acceptance, and forgiveness makes way for that, then that opens that flow again. And they say that, like, forgiveness isn't something you give someone else. Forgiveness is what you give yourself, because holding a grudge against someone is like drinking poison hoping it kills them. That feeling, those vibrations are festering, and they can cause illness and outer chaos in your life. And it doesn't do anything to the other person. They're going to bed not losing any sleep over it. So it hurts you way worse than it hurts them. So forgiveness isn't to say, "Oh, it's okay what you did. That's fine. I'm going to pretend like it ever happened," or anything like that. And we can just, put the, water under the bridge. That's not really what it means necessarily, because someone could have genuinely wronged you in a horrific way, and it wouldn't be safe or advisable to continue to be around them, or to have them in your life, or to try to make the best of it, But the loving thing would be to go the separate way, maybe, and to acknowledge the harm they did, to not invalidate yourself, but to say, "You know what? Go in peace and I'll go in my peace, because you were wrong and you're going to pay for what you did, but I'm not going to hold on to this. I'm not going to keep this attachment to you that's only going to bind me and my soul in the end. I want to be at peace, and I want to be liberated, and I don't want that judgment and condemnation to come back on me in a second wave of damage." So it's really just releasing yourself from the enduring pain. And that person is going to have to face their karma on their own. But you do not have to hang on or have any contact with it, because it's like holding on to an electric fence. It's not gonna, you're not gonna get any pleasure or any bonus or any positivity from having your hands on that kind of energy connected to someone. All right, so that's coming around the corner. So that maybe this forgiveness is going to allow for something to come through that's close in the near future. Okay, the next card was going to represent how our perspective, the perspective that we have that's affecting us right now. All right, that's that one. Time out. A pause in action. Wait. A chance to rest and replenish. Progress cannot be made at this time. Plan, reflect, and organize. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. So again, just when you have a chance to have time off, and even like, especially if it's something you can't even control, then embrace it. Enjoy it. Make the most of it. Okay, so this is the outer the way that outer life is affecting you, the way that other people are affecting you right now. This is where the soul is calling you. So the outer effect, like your relationship to life and the life around you and the people around you right now, it's like your soul has you here for a purpose. The desire of your soul has a purpose. You are being called toward an experience that can serve to elevate your soul in some way. Whether pleasant or not, you are meant to experience this for your soul's healing and expansion. Trust this urge, explore this path, even if only temporary. So something is coming that your soul is drawing in. And there is something to that situation. So something about seeing it through, seeing it out, or just having an acceptance that where you are in this moment is where you're supposed to be in this moment. So I love this. So our next card, the hopes and fears, this really says it all. Creation phase 3. And creation phase 3 is when there is like, it's like you've put everything into something, and you're like, you've given it your all. You've been burning the midnight oil. You put everything on the line. You took the big chance. You did the thing that you felt like the big ask. Like you said your truth. You know, you confronted the bad guy at the end of the movie kind of moment, and now you're like waiting for the hero's big payoff, and it's just crickets. And you're like, when is something gonna happen? Like, I've been putting in the effort. Like, I have been giving it all my heart. Like, and still, it's just not coming. So this is like that final test of perseverance, of endurance, of faith, of, are you going to cave to temptation? Are you going to cave and settle for less? So this creation phase 3, to the fact that it is in the hopes and fears card position, it really says it all, because it's like, you know, we hope that our goal is going to come through soon, and we fear that it's not going to go through anytime soon. But really, that's the whole point of it, is that we are in this moment of like this tense, quiet, something's about to give, something's about to break through. We can feel it. And we have that unrest waiting. And so the key now is to say, you know what? Regardless of the results, I'm going to do it anyway. Regardless of, like, if it's a success in the way I perceive success, it doesn't matter. The Creator's called me to this. My soul's called me to this. I'm giving it my all. I'm doing everything that I've got. I'm giving it everything I've got. And so, Creator, if this isn't for me, if I'm going in the right direction, then do everything you can to stop me. Like, show me so clearly This is not for me, but I'm going to continue. And so this is the test of the universe to see, like, how much do you want this? How much does it mean to you? You know, how much are you willing to give, to stick it out? So, but that's good. That feels like something soon is coming. And then I felt like the next card was the one attached to it, which is a good business opportunity, guys. So something positive is going to be presented. I think we're going to have an opportunity or a gift or a moment of prosperity, partnerships, new job, good business idea, solid business plan, maybe a bridge to the next thing, building skills. This opportunity holds value. What value will this business deliver, both to the customer and to you? So I love that. So that feels good. Let's grab a few tarot cards from the Modern Witch Tarot. Ooh. Oh my gosh, you guys. 9 of Cups. This is your wish comes true. All good things have come to you card. So, like, keep on. There's healing. There's positive vibrations or changing the situation. Finances are turning around. Relationships are turning around. Your healing and growth are making a difference on the outside. So keep holding the belief. Keep holding the vision. Keep the effort going. Keep that fire burning inside. Oh my gosh. The 10 of Swords card was coming out reverse, and this is the 10 of Swords card. There's 2 in this deck. One is just the traditional 10 of Swords card, which is like an end, you know, might be a painful ending, but it's the end of a difficult situation. But there's an additional 10 of Swords card that says everything is fine. Everything is fine. Look. This person is on that pile of crystals. It looks like the ice outside piled up. Just like on my phone, I'm like, I remember everything, all my hard work, you know, and like it's just all feels like slipping away. Everything's fine, and you know the fact that this 10 of Swords is reversed means that the situation is already improving. That the swords are falling out. That the pain is the pain is receding. The waters are receding. The pain is receding, subsiding. So don't worry, things are changing. Everything is okay. Everything's more than fine. Everything is blessed. Oh my gosh, wow. 6 of Pentacles. If we want to see anything, it's this: unexpected windfall, gifts, sharing, charity, exchange, like an equal exchange, right? Equal give and take. Something that you put effort in, that you put your heart and soul in, it's going to return that value. Equal give and take. I love that. 6 of Pentacles. 6 of Pentacles is a physical card, but it also is attached to a spirit of generosity. A heart of giving, kindness, sharing, graceful sharing. 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups. So relationship, exchange, new relationships, bonds forming, bonds getting closer, right? So maybe you're going to have new people coming into your life. You're going to have the beginnings of new friendships or new romantic interests on a new level, on a different level, but new love cycles starting and like things are really going into their next enhancement. Let's just put it that way. But this could be a newfound appreciation for people that you know already. This could be like a healing and a deepening of relationships with the people that are already in your life, and in addition to new characters coming into your story. So you never know, but this is a sweetening and a deepening of bonds with like-minded people or person. Love that. Let's grab an Angel Wisdom Tarot card Feeling this. Ooh, justice. Things are going to balance out. There's going to be a positive ruling in your favor. Karma has run its course and the lesson has resolved. You've paid your spiritual debt. Be impartial and objective. Stand up for what you believe. Try to see all sides of the situation. You will win if your position is one of integrity. So keep integrity. And let's grab a Moonology card. That one. Ooh, your commitment is being tested. First quarter moon. This is the creation phase 3 card. Your commitment is being tested, so don't worry. This is part of the test. This is part of the challenge. Just stick with it. It was happening to me tonight, honestly. Like, I was just thinking after I made our weekly energy oracle video and was editing that and posting it, I was like, hadn't eaten all day, so I was like, I don't know if how long it's gonna be until I like heat up some like hot dinner tonight, and if I even do, because it means that I have to turn off the heater in the kitchen. It gets really cold, so I was like, I'm just gonna eat a sandwich and maybe that'll be enough. So I ate a sandwich, and after that I was like, so unmotivated. It was freezing in here. I needed to go out and fill up the gas, the generator, and I was just like, maybe I just won't do the lunar workshop. I mean, after all, I'm surviving a natural disaster. I'm a baby and I haven't had power in 8 days, and I'm tired, and I am, want to get under my blankie, and I was just thinking, you know what? Suck it up, princess. On set in the film world, you would have been filming for 12 hours. And if you were doing this for a network on someone else's terms, you'd be filming for 12 hours. And guess what? The heat would be off and you would be freezing, and they would give you hand warmers for the 8 hours because you can't have the sound on from the generator, right? So if I were out filming today, which I would be, if I were in film, I would be working in these conditions. I would be outside in the 7-degree weather. If I were talent, I would be in and out. I would be cold. I would be tired. And I would be filming in the cold, and I'd be filming for more hours. So I was like, this is silly of me to be unprofessional because I'm tired. I don't feel like it, because that is when the most light is going to be revealed. The Satan always wants to challenge us when there's the most light that's about to be revealed. So that's when we're not going to feel like it. We're going to feel like, oh, this time's okay. I'm just gonna, and that if you can overcome that feeling, that is usually when you're so close to revealing something miraculous, either for yourself or someone else. Okay, so your commitment is being tested. Let's grab a few cards to see how we should approach our manifestations over the next 2 weeks. Rest. Oh yeah, no kidding. I'm tired. You've been working hard. Take a nap. Get some rest. Oh my gosh. You got it. I'm gonna sleep good tonight. I might actually run an extension cord upstairs and get into bed because I figure, it seems like it's gonna be so much colder up there, but really it's not once I get under the covers. Soulmate relationship, guys. Soulmate relationship. This card has been coming out for us for a long time. New romance with a spiritual basis is here for you now. So, I mean, it's saying it. We're doing it. I wonder who my soulmate is. He's gonna be wonderfully weird. Okay. Ooh, stay optimistic. I hope he's hot. Your dreams are coming true. Don't quit right before the miracle occurs. Yee, keep on going. This is a test of perseverance. Don't quit right before the miracle occurs. Your dreams are coming true. Do not quit before the miracle occurs. Rest. Give yourself rest, regular cycles of rest, so you don't feel like quitting. Worthiness. Know that you deserve to receive good in all ways. You know who knows that? Leos. They are full of esteem for themselves, and that's good. And that we should try to take some of that in for our own self. We deserve to receive good and love in all ways. And so the universe, God is always wanting to give to us, but our vessel is only open and able to receive what we feel worthy of. That determines the openness of our vessel, the strength of our vessel to be sturdy once we have all that in our vessel, in our possession, is to be able to hold it, is faith. So we don't falter, we don't waver. Okay, let's grab some Romance Angel Oracle. I'm suddenly so thirsty, but I have not drank enough water over this emergency. I've been drinking a lot of coffee because it's warm. But now I'm so thirsty, I can chug like a whole gallon. Okay. What do we need to know and do or not do for our love lives over the next 2 weeks? Ooh, heart-to-heart conversations. This does not stop coming up. So, like, again, be your true self. Communicate, and like the conjunction with Venus and Mercury. The way that you communicate your feelings, your romantic intentions, right? Finesse it. Be playful, be mischievous, be, a little bit feisty, be cute, be mysterious, but be true, be yourself. Don't try to hide how you feel. Be from the heart. But you don't have to put it all out there at once, and be like, this is how I feel, blah, blah, blah. You can just subtle signals. So there's still mystery. There's still, intrigue. But you're not hiding your attraction. Now, if, for example, in a general broad stroke sense, in the early stages of, I think, meeting people and presenting yourself in the dating scene, I think that this is saying, be authentic, be your real self, be real about what you're looking for. You don't have to direct it in anyone specific, but just be like, yeah, I'm ready for, real relationship. If you're... I think a lot of people pretend like they're willing to be cool and see what happens, and let's just see what happens. When someone uses the term, I'm just exploring, let's explore, just run for the hills. They're full of shit. So again, if you are looking for something to build on, you're looking to build on a foundation, to put roots down, don't pretend that you're just out having fun and that you're going to entertain player types and people who aren't serious. You want to meet people who are also looking for the same things that you are. And they're out there. It's just that you need to not waste your time with people who aren't in the same season of what you are in. So being honest about who you are helps you find other people who are also wanting the things that you want at this point in their life. You can meet someone who wants the things that you want, but they're not in that season. They're wanting to exercise some restlessness. They're wanting to focus on career stuff or just spending time pursuing their own interests in the moment, but they don't necessarily have an interest in pursuing those things at this current juncture in their life. And so early on, you don't know whether somebody wants that with you because they don't know you yet and you don't know them. But you do want to look for people who are at least ready for the same things that you're ready for at the same time that you are also ready for them. Okay, what next? Let's see. Children. Your love life is being affected by children. So this could be a couple of things. This could be that the person that you are going to meet is going to have children. This could mean that your children are maybe affecting whether or not you're available to go out and like spend a lot of time in your love life, like dating and being single. Or you might perceive that they might be, you know, like it might be a deciding factor when really it's not. Like people are not put off by people who have kids at all. So unless they just strictly do not want to have kids and they don't want to be a step parent, you know, that might come into play. But either way, you know, children are part of life. But I like to, because how helpful is this card really when you're like, well, somebody might have kids. It's like, okay. Or maybe, you know, it helps you not to take something personally if they're not as available as you'd like them for them to be. It may not be anything personal against you. It may just have to do with their kids. Maybe they're a parent and you don't know it yet because you don't know them that well. So maybe they have responsibilities and, you know, it's like you're not feeling like a priority because they do genuinely have priorities, which is another thing to consider when you are getting involved with someone, is that their children are going to be their first priority. So, I mean, that's something that you're kind of have to go in and accept that, as something just, you know, as a baseline, as a starting point. But I typically find this most helpful, because our readings are more centered around doing the deep inner work. That this has to do with our inner child and healing the inner child. And I think for me personally, just the experience of Storm Fern and having to kind of prepare for it by myself and weather it by myself and deal with all of the, you know, issues of it essentially by myself. It has settled within me the fact that, like, I know that I am capable of making it by myself and taking care of myself. I know I have achieved that, and that is part of my tikkun correction. But now that might mean that, and like, I feel like my inner child that feels like they want to know that there's an adult around making wise, secure choices. I do feel that at this point I might have surpassed my parents at this point of making sure that I am feeling taken care of and secure, and I've taken care of things. So that might mean a next level of graduation where I have enough autonomy and interdependence where that inner child has been healed and that part of me feels secure and doesn't need necessarily someone outside of me to come save me or fix me in that way. So now it's like I feel that wholeness and that completeness, and not fragmented in that sense. So do you see like how inner child healing can happen when you kind of connect it with your outer events in life and how you're handling your business, right? Are you handling your household? Right? Okay, so for instance, if you look around your house and there's no order and it's chaos, your inner child is feeling very insecure and it's probably acting out as well. A child needs order, it needs structure to feel secure, right? So if you can start doing small things like making sure to take care of the mundane tasks and chores around your house on a regular basis and stay on top of them, that will start to help your inner child feel secure. Like they're not looking for somebody to come take care of us because everything's out of control. We're taken care of because we're taking care of ourselves over here. Meaning we as in the adult self and the inner child self. So when we, I think, resolve some of those issues, like maybe for you, your inner child is craving more discipline and routine around the way you take care of your physical self. Oh, my mom's trying to get in touch with me. Then you feel like you're being nurtured the way a wise parent would nurture you, you know. You know what? I'm going to pause this because she's going to be going to bed soon and she's going to think that I am in a ditch somewhere. So I will pause and we will continue in a moment. Okay, I'm back. All right, so give your relationship a chance. So if you are in a relationship, I would say don't be quick to just think that another relationship is going to be the answer, because there's a reason. There's something that you need to learn within the relationship that you're in. There's something that you need to work out within that relationship. And if you don't resolve that within yourself, then if you just leave that relationship and think that a new relationship will solve it, or it'll be better with this person over there, then that issue will be waiting for you in that relationship too once the newness wears off. So that's why if you're having relationship problems, the best thing to do is double down in your own inner work, and then also work on the quality of what you're bringing in your relationship skills. And then hopefully the creator will work it out. Maybe your partner will mirror that effort. Maybe they will have a spontaneous awakening, or maybe God will remove the relationship out of your life. You'll get more clarity. However, if you just think that on the surface it's just the relationship, this is just a bad relationship, that person is wrong for me, and then you leave and you go into the next relationship thinking just on the surface that like, oh, this person's the answer, it's very likely that the same problems will arise as soon as you settle in. So that's that if you have a relationship. If you're not in a relationship, then don't give up. Give yourself a chance to have that dream relationship that you know is out there and possible for you. But also do the things that give you a chance to have that relationship. Don't settle for people who aren't high value partners. I keep hearing, like, you know, in times of like these times like of crisis, when people are reporting back like shit that their husband is not helping them with or doesn't know how to do. Like, we were just talking about something at work the other day. My friend was like, yeah, my friend can't leave the house because she can't leave her baby alone with her husband. And I'm like, that is the first indication that you should not have married or bred with that human being. Your infant won't survive in their care, or your toddler or your baby, like they're not capable of like watching their own child. Shouldn't have breeded with them. Should not have partnered with them. You know what I mean? This is an example of a person who did not give their relationship a chance. They settled for the person they knew. They were comfortable in that relationship. It did something for them that was easier than breaking it off and finding someone who they could leave a baby with, right? So don't settle for what's easy, convenient, the warm body, the whatever, because you're anxious or impatient. Give yourself a chance to have something of value, of meaning, of depth. All right. And what do we have here? Oh my gosh, y'all. Soulmate relationship. Soulmate relationship just came up twice. Yes, this is a soulmate. So you have lots of soulmates, in different capacities, but some are romantic, some are non-romantic. But either way, in a soulmate relationship doesn't necessarily mean that this is the person you're going to be with for the rest of your life, but it does mean that there's a significant connection and there's significant light to be revealed, and there is significant growth and things to learn and be had from that relationship. So it's something of impact. There are even soulmate relationships that are brought into our sphere for temptation that aren't meant for us to actually play out in this life. They might have in another life, or they might have in another life, but in this particular timeline, the circumstances aren't right because maybe they're in another relationship. That's what happened to Joseph, the patriarch, in the chariot of the dimension or the Sphirot of Yesod. If you're not in Kabbalah, then you may not understand what that means. But Joseph is the keeper of the storehouse. He was a king of Egypt, but he was also a Hebrew Jew sold into slavery by his brothers. He was sold into slavery into Egypt, and because he brought his best self with him throughout the whole experience and maintained faith, he was given favor and they liked him, and he ended up working his way up through the ranks and becoming a king and the keeper of all of the storehouse of resources of Egypt. So he was the one you'd come to if you needed a loan, or he's the one that divvied everything up. So he had all the ability to manifest abundance. So his test before he became that the highest version of his expression of his righteousness and his kingliness on earth, the final test for him was that this woman in the court of Egypt or whatever, he and her had this like deep connection, and they were like very attracted to one another, and she was always trying to seduce him, but she was married and he was trying to be good and righteous, and so nothing ever happened, but like he really liked her, she liked him, and apparently they had like all this stuff in common and they had a connection. So it wasn't just like some tawdry thing. It's like, imagine like the Pam and Jim, like they were like Pam and Jim, except Pam was more forthcoming, if you've ever seen The Office. And so, and Pam, like if Pam was more forthcoming with Jim, and Pam had actually married that terrible guy that was in the shipping department, was it Rudy or was that what his name was? So Roy. So anyway, there was a situation that played out where her husband was out of town and they were alone together, and she tried to actually make a pass at him while they had a chance, and he didn't know what else to do, so he just like ran away from the situation. And he actually after that was given this greater vestment of light and named and like made into like a righteous person in the upper realms, and made the chariot of that spirit or that dimension of abundance because of the fact that he ran away from temptation, that he didn't cave, that he was strong, that he persevered. So let's see. And then what do we have now? We have, let's get some advice from Mother Mary. God, I step out of the way and surrender any need for control in order to make room for God's healing love to flow through me and this situation. So I step out of the way and surrender any need for control in order to make room for God's healing love to flow through me and this situation. I step out of the way and surrender any need for control in order to make room for God's healing love to flow through me and the situation. I step out of the way and surrender any need for control in order to make room for God's healing love to flow through me and the situation. That took like 10 times to read before it sounded right. I think because I was like still distracted by my mom's call. It's like I struggle to like balance being like grateful that she's so concerned, but also having to hold the psychic weight of her worry, and that she is like just like, I don't want her to be worried. I don't want her to like go to bed worried. And so then it feels like I have to immediately try to respond, but then that feels like I'm not free. It's not always like this, but it's just that like I'm in unusual circumstances. So she's just vigilant, hyper vigilant, and just extra, I guess, aware of me and concerned. But I am a person that needs a lot of autonomy and space. And so I don't think unless you were here to witness it, how much I've had to correspond with people all day today. And all of the effort and time it takes to get from point A to point B, moving things around, doing things just to get basic stuff done, like to enjoy the time off from work has only been a few extra like hours collectively. Like every day has been totally consumed with like mundane minutia that like I only have time for like maybe an extra Kabbalah class and some journaling. And so like that's why I think I'm getting short with everyone who's continually trying to check in too much, because I'm like, can you give me the peace that I need to unplug and retreat and be away from the world? It's like self-preservation, but like feeling a little bit suffocated, but then trying to also remind myself to be appreciative. And like, it's just like this cycle that I'm going back and forth in. Okay, so this is loving words from Jesus. Blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it. Luke 11:28. So this is what I was reading yesterday, and then this was, I think, part of the Zohar portion today. And it was in the visual imagery of my cards for my weekly reading. But this talks about when you see God's miracles, see them. Pay attention. Don't let them just pass before your eyes. When you hear God's word and it makes an impact on you, and you have like this insight and revelation about it, let that change you. Don't just let it go in one ear and out the other, right? Let it galvanize you. Let it change you. When you go through a situation like this where you see and witness miracles and you're experiencing miracles, like, let those rebirth something in you, or let something in you die and let something new within you come forward. So, blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it. Hear it, remember it. Let it make an eternal impact. Like some people hear it and they're like, oh, okay, and then they just go back and it doesn't land. It's like a seed that gets thrown out but gets eaten by a bird and never takes root, right? The sower, the parable of the sower, this is when he starts talking about this. This is the sower that sows the seeds. This leads to this statement: blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it. Blessed are those with ears to hear. Let them hear, that they may hear. All right, y'all, that is all. We are fini. I hope you have a good rest of this lunar cycle. Release, let go, have peace. And try not to let it all drive you insane. Ciao.